Hello, ladies. This is Love from Hanging Out with Love. How are you today? I am chilling and relaxing in my good old thermals, trying to stay warm, okay? I'm about to scoop some of my body butter out. This is pumpkin spice latte. A lot of people lately have been buying the mango papaya. And I love mango papaya too, but pumpkin spice latte is just my favorite. I don't know what it is about this, but I really love it. So had to put a little back. A little bit goes a long way. You do not need a lot of this stuff. So just moisturizing my hands here. If you need to order some for your skin, definitely get some. I love my nails. This is like a baby pink sort of acrylic. But it looks just very natural. Like it literally blends into my nails and protects them. All right, so let's get started. So I wanted to talk to you all today about expectations and standards. Hey, boo. Is your name pronounced Lakir? It's super pretty. And so I'm going to break down two different types of guys. And I want you all to tell me which one you can really resonate with, which one you would prefer, and all of that good stuff, okay? So I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to talk about some guys here, give you some scenarios. So the first relationship, right? This guy's with a woman. He is, she's pregnant. So they're pregnant with their first child together, but not their first child as a whole. So it's their first child together. It's her first baby, period, but it's not his first baby. This is his second child. They cohabitate. They live with a few other people. So it's like a married couple, the two of them who are not married. And there was one more couple living in the house, and then a few kids that the married couple had. So pretty big house. I would say it was about 4 bedrooms, maybe 2 baths. And the rent, they split it amongst all of the adults. So the pregnant woman works. At this point, she is about 6 months pregnant. And she works third shift at some sort of warehouse type of thing. But she works third shift. So that's about 11 p.m. to around 6-ish in the morning. Her man does not have a car. So she takes him everywhere he has to go. So she works at night. He goes to pick her up in the evening time. And then in the morning, she turns around and drops him off at work. And then picks him up at the end of his shift. Okay? So that's their dynamic. And when I say the bills are split amongst all of the adults, that includes her. So she splits half the bills with him. He drives her car. Sometimes he puts gas in it. Sometimes he doesn't. He is disrespectful. Always is asking for fellatio, making these requests. He does not perform oral sex on her. Really doesn't give her money for much of anything. He may feed her, obviously, from time to time, like the woman's carrying his child, for Pete's sake. Really not a lot of affection there. Really not a lot of romanticism. And he says it's because he never wanted to be with her. He never wanted a child with her. This was something that she was pursuing. And because of the perks that it came with, he just stayed, kept having unprotected sex, and now she's pregnant, right? So, very tragic story. So that's guy number 1, just to reveal the identity. Guy number 1. So the second relationship, this man is catering to this woman, taking her out to eat, dining her, wining her, helping her get to know the city better, trying new foods, exposing her to parts of herself she didn't even know about, like very attentive, very emotionally available. He falls in love, asks her to be his girlfriend. When they were together for about a year, but by the time they ended up moving in together, He was paying all the bills. He worked multiple jobs to be able to provide, and he never made an excuse about providing, nor did any of the dates stop. He still wanted to go out with her, spend quality time, show her off, and just completely loving and attentive. And it was just a great relationship, right? So that's also guy number one, right? I know y'all didn't expect that, but that's also guy number one. So let me tell you what the difference is between those two scenarios. So both of these women had the same man. They had the same man, but the qualities that he displayed for them depended on who they wanted him to be for them. And this is not to say that woman number one didn't want more. This lady obviously wanted more, but she did not position herself to have more. She did not position herself to have more. Lady number two, she wanted more, and she positioned herself to have more because that's what she required, and it was a non-negotiable. So fact number one that I'll tell you, ladies, you have to position yourself to have more. If you're saying, I want to be in a relationship with this man, I see myself having a future with this man, I want to get married, you cannot do certain things prematurely. And one of them is having sex. Why would you have sex before you get to know an individual? And it's really not always about just getting to know them, because to be honest, you get to know a person throughout the course of your relationship. Like, there's married couples who will tell you, you grow as an individual, you change. I'm still learning things about my wife or my husband, and we've been married for 30 years. You will never completely know a person. But y'all take that and run with it. Like, oh, well, you can never really know a person. He positioned himself as this. And you're talking about very early stages in the relationship. You're ignoring very real red flags like tardiness, disrespect, lies, all things indicative of a man's character, bad credit. And not just bad credit, because things can happen. A divorce can spark bad credit, but bad credit and bad spending habits. Hello, y'all that just came in. Bad credit and bad spending habits, okay? Because if you have bad credit and you're not putting your money in the right places to get it right, you're not investing, you're not saving anything, that's an issue. So the second thing I'll say, outside of positioning yourself to have better, within that actually, so in addition to that positioning, you have to emotionally position yourself to have better. I have dated guys who it probably could have been a very good relationship, but I was young. I'm like 19, 20. I have an attitude about everything that doesn't go my way. So therefore, I may fly off the handle. And this is why I'm having my seminar. If you have not registered, get your ticket. I'm just telling you, it's going to be life-changing, okay? But how to manage your emotions is so near and dear to my heart, because I remember being in that space. I remember being angry all the time, or even if I wasn't angry, I could be in a perfectly good mood, but it does not take much to set me off. Like, I will spaz on you. And whatever the case may be, I may be right and justified. I could be putting you in your place for something, but there's a way to do it. There's a way to go about it, especially when you're dealing with men. And the women I cater to on this platform are heterosexual women who date men, right? So keep that in mind. You can position yourself to have better by being in control of you, because no man wants a woman that's emotionally unstable. Only the Dusties. You hear Dusty say all the time, oh, I want a woman that's crazy. I want somebody that's going to cuss me out, go through my phone, show me you care about me. Like, they think that's love, and it's not love. I've been in a relationship where I never argued, and he's upset because I don't argue. So me coming from a place where I did fly off the handle a lot, I'm like, look, I'm not going there with you. Like, I'm past that point in my life. If you want somebody who gonna cuss you out and argue with you, you need to be with somebody else. I gotta be in perfect peace. And like I told y'all earlier today, peace is priceless. It's the peace for me. Those are things money can't buy. And for some, oh, well, my house is always quiet. Peace is within. You can be in a completely quiet house, but the things that you're saying to yourself, the voices in your head not calling you crazy, the things you keep thinking about, the past, your future, the anxiety. If you don't have peace within, none of that shit matters. No good relationship, no good dick, no man with money, no man who's providing is going to be good enough for you if you cannot quiet the voice inside. Period. If anybody tells you any different, they're lying. Peace is priceless. So get yourself in check so you can position yourself to win, because people who are self-aware, people who can keep their emotions in check, they don't want to deal with people that can't do that. Unless they're providing some type of psychological service. And I'm just being real with you. Take it from a person who has worked in a mental health space. Okay? So the second thing, saying what you want is not good enough. You have to say what you want and then hold them accountable. Think about it like this. Think about your relationship as a restaurant. I go into a nice restaurant. I'm looking at the lamb chops. I'm looking at the steak. I'm looking at the lobster. I'm looking at their, salad. I'm looking at whatever it is that they have on the menu, right? And I'm trying to decide what I want. So when the waitress comes, I order my food accordingly, right? So I made the order. So I ordered some lamb chops, some mashed potatoes, and some grilled asparagus. But when they bring my order, I get steak, I get scalloped potatoes, and I get broccoli. But that's not what I asked for, right? So I made the request. It came out of my mouth. But now I have to hold you accountable for what you bring me. Because this is not what the fuck I asked for, right? That's how y'all have to start thinking about relationships. I asked for this. You're bringing me something different. But you know what y'all do? Y'all sit at the table and you... What's wrong, baby? Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. And you keep eating it. You keep eating it. You keep dealing with the bullshit. You're forking it in. You're digesting it. And it's messing your stomach up. You can't even really enjoy this situation that you're in because you're stomaching things that you never asked for. Stop doing that. And there used to be a saying where people would be like, oh no, don't send that food back. I got this from some people in my own family. Don't send that food back. People might spit in your food because, my grandpa saw a situation at Burger King one day where this man opened up a man's sandwich and spit in it, and that turned him off. He left. He got his money back. He was like, he spit in that man's food. So that's been a thing. And other people's families believe the same thing. Like, oh, they'll spit in your food. But then a couple years ago, I heard this speaker. His name is Apop Collins. And he said, why do y'all worry so much about getting your food spit in? That stuff doesn't, yes, shit like that does happen in life. But it's so rare. And the reality is you didn't get what you wanted. So you're going to go through life not getting what you want for the fear that your food might get spit in. So not literally speaking, but what kind of things do you feel like would get spit in if you tell this person that this is not what you want? Do you think it's going to end the relationship? They're going to kick you out the restaurant? Do you think it's going to make the environment hostile between you and this waitress or the waiter? What is it? I'll tell y'all something I always tell my sisters. So my sisters, they'll be like, yeah, I wanted to say something, and so I just went ahead and said it because I remember what you told me about feeling uncomfortable. So the thing that I live by and I stand on, when you have a conversation with people, it can be very uncomfortable, right? But I'm speaking up because I'm uncomfortable. Nothing's happening to you if I keep it on the inside. But I know once I let it out, I will feel okay. I don't give a damn about your discomfort. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't care. If it's between me being uncomfortable for holding something in and you being uncomfortable for hearing my grievance, you're going to be uncomfortable. You have to choose yourself. And this is why a lot of people get in trouble, because you think that it's selfish, but it's really not. And let me tell you why it's not. In order for you to have a happy relationship, you need communication. It's selfish of you to not speak up, because then if you don't say anything, all you're doing while you're eating that BS meal is building up resentment. You're getting angry. Then you start doing passive aggressive things because this person isn't giving you what you want, instead of saying, yo, I don't want this. And if that person doesn't change their ways, you have the option to back away from the table and go on about your damn business. But instead, you want to harbor resentment in your heart for this man because he's not giving you what you want. So I said as well, I was going to speak from the topic. He's not a Dusty. A lot of y'all have dated men who are really good guys. The two men that I spoke about in the beginning of the scenario, that was the same man. The issue is, who is he dating? Because I'll be honest with you, nobody is trying to do more than they have to do. This is the reality. The majority of you are working men and women. If you go to a job that pays $70,000 a year and you have to go to meetings Monday through Friday, you may have some late night meetings. You may have a Sunday night meeting. Shoot, sometimes they throw some things in there, maybe because they have a special event that's coming up and they have to prep, right? But then you have another job, they pay you $70,000 and all you have to do is post on social media all day, or post ads all day, or check their marketing campaigns and just look at the stats and report on them. Which job would you rather have? Do you want to take the one that's more demanding, or are you going to take the one that you don't have to do as much for? Right? So if I get the same benefit from you and I don't have to do as much, then why would I do more? Like, yes, there are some people who will just give you more and they'll reciprocate that love and they'll, cater to your love language, but some people are just not going to do it. And that's just that on that. But it's still up to you to come over and circle back and say, hey, you're not meeting the requirements of this job description. And if you want to stay in your spot, I'm going to need for you to step it up and put a time limit on it. Put it in your head, whatever it may be for you. Put a time limit on it. And you can also ask that person, okay, look, I've asked you to do this and it seems like we're not really on the same page. Is it something that I'm not getting across to you? Is this something that makes you anxious? So like, for instance, let's say, you are supposed to be taking care of the dishes in the house and cleaning up. But every time your husband comes home, everything is clean but the dishes. So he may ask you, what's going on? I don't get this. Like, all you have to do is clean up and it just seems like these dishes don't get done. What's going on with the dishes? And you might be like, you know what, babe? I don't mind cleaning up anything else in this house, but I hate doing dishes. It is not my forte. It makes me sick to my stomach. I don't like looking at the old crusty food on the dishes. So y'all may come to a compromise. Maybe he may do it, or maybe you have one of the kids do it, or maybe you bring in a housekeeper and have them do it, or maybe instead of letting the dishes sit there, you have to run the dishwasher a couple more times because you don't like looking at that. It's something that just bothers you. People have pet peeves. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. If you think you're going to get in a relationship with a perfect man, you are lying to yourself. None of these niggas are perfect. I don't care if they are the most attentive, the sweetest, the best provider. Everybody has something about them that you're not going to like. You have to decide for yourself where your deal breakers are. And you also have to be honest with yourself and make a commitment to both you and your relationship that I'm going to communicate so that we can both be fulfilled. And this is why I say when there's issues that pop up and that person didn't communicate with you, don't blame yourself for that. Like, yes, it's important to ask questions, make sure y'all are on the same page, but some people not going to do that. Some people were not taught how to communicate effectively, and you're just not going to get that from them, and it's just what it is. But I challenge you ladies, anyone who's watching this video, make sure you don't put yourself in that predicament. Say what you mean what you say, and when somebody delivers you something that you did not order, send that shit back. Period. At restaurants too. So I love you ladies. I hope this video helped. If you did not register for how to manage your emotions, go get that ticket. It's going to be a webinar. We're going to be looking cute on that Zoom call. I'm telling you. And it's always a whole vibe. Like, when I get in the room with these ladies, we talk, we do a Q&A, they share their feedback. I have games. It's very interactive, but I'm also giving you a lot of knowledge and a lot of game. And of course, for those of you, some people are like, oh, I couldn't get in because I was out or whatever. Perfectly fine. I record those. So in the event that you sign up and you're like, dang, I wasn't able to make it, you're good, because I always email a copy of the event afterwards. Okay, so have a good one. I hope you learned something from this video, and if you made it to the end, please drop a heart below in the comments. Peace.